All right, welcome to the playground. I know what y'all thinking. Why am I dressed up to play on the playground? That's none of your business. We're not going to get there, but we're going to go somewhere else. So, today on the playground, I have a special guest. Not only is he a retired Marine, but I mean, he fought for this country. He's a mixologist. He knows that hair care field like the back of his hand through hard work and study. And now he's a published author. I need y'all to put y'all hands together, get out the sandbox, get off the slides, leave the monkey bars alone, and come on over here and help me welcome Alan Bird.
Oh man, thanks a lot, brother. Thanks a lot, man. What's going on, man? What's going on, bro?
Welcome to the playground, boy.
Yeah, the playground. I'm glad to hear, man. I guess we dressed up. We'll still do get a little sandbox thing. You think maybe still?
Look, I don't think we're gonna get no sandbox time. But you know how the parents be when they come pick up the kids. They don't want them dirty.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That is true. That's true. Absolutely. So, yes. Yeah.
You know, as I come away from the slides, because I can't slide on them, because you know we dressed up now.
Right.
Let's tell the people, who is Alan Bird?
And I tell you, well, first of all, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida originally, by way of Waycross, Georgia. So I'm a country boy. I graduated from Jackson back in 1985. I joined the Marines. Now, the thing is, I love Marines so much, and I've spent so many years in that people think I retired. I did 12 years in the Marine Corps. Then I got out to start my business in the beauty industry. I was actually on pace for retirement, and I took a trip to Atlanta to what they call the Bronner Brothers show, and it blew my mind.
Oh, you was hooked.
I was hooked. I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. It was I've always been a hustler,
right?
Selling things. In fact, a friend of mine told me that he remember when I was in Waycross that I used to sell now laters in grade school.
You know, that's the gateway sale. You start out selling annihilators.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of cool because I think back on that, like to be in the 5th grade, but to understand the concept of going to the store, spending 10 cents for a pack of annihilators, then going breaking them down
and sell them individually. Because that's how you gonna make your money.
Make my money. And
I'm not telling y'all how to do that, but I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, okay, so I even had that concept back then. So I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I was a very, very successful Marine. I was a Marine Corps recruiter, on place to be promoted to gunnery sergeant. But a friend of mine had this product called Bump Patrol, which helps with razors.
Right.
And I was always intrigued by that because as a Marine Corps recruiter, a lot of my black applicants were always, not always, but sometimes they got disqualified because of pseudophilitis.
Yep.
So when he came up with this formula, I was like, I really like that. So not only did I get it into the Marine Corps Exchange, I wanted to sell it as well. Because again, I'm thinking about.
You're trying to how to make moves with it.
I make moves with it, right? So I took that. I got stationed in Blount Island, back home, in 1996, and I got introduced to Bernard Williams of Bernard's Beauty Supply, brother who owned his own beauty supply store. And I used to sit at his feet and just for hours just listen to him talk about business, and I was just fascinated. The guy had a brick and mortar store, products and everything. See, back then, the whole beauty supply industry was black top to bottom.
Oh yeah, because I mean, technically they were the largest consumers of it.
Yes.
So who knows how to move product to that market than that market.
Right. And so it was, even though integration went about, this was the last industry where we still had manufacturers, distributors, sales reps, hairstylists, and consumers. It was black top to bottom. So from a vertical integration standpoint, it's the last industry, the last bastion of what I call economic interdependence that we had within, our culture as a whole.
Right.
And so from there, I went to he invited me to the Bronner Brothers show. See, he was recruiting me on the sly.
He's like, look, godson, you don't know, but one day you will take over all this empire.
Listen, man, when he took me, he said, yeah, there's a little show in Atlanta called Bronner Brothers. You want to go open this weekend and everything? I said, yeah. So, I went up there. I was blown away, man. It was like 50,000 people, all black. I mean, it was like black on black on black on black. It was like, as far as you could see, it was like Wakanda in real life.
And you know, the funny part is it was organized and there was no chaos.
I'm telling you, it was the commerce was going on, bro. I mean, and so you see how I'm dressed, right? So I walk in, I went there casual. I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
And so Bernard, and because he went casual, he didn't tell me what the dress code was. So he walks me up to Bernard Bronner, our Cornell McBride, Mr. Dudley, and these brothers all was dressed to the nines, man. They had, I mean, listen, I'm straight as you come, all right? But I did look the brother up and down.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic. That ain't got nothing to do. When you see another guy and that mug is dressed sharper than a machete,
Man, look at here.
you gonna look. I don't care what.
Right.
I don't care how.
Aberration, right?
Right, because you like, damn, man, bro, that dude's sharp.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Listen, he took me to see. First one was Daryl Bronner, God rest his soul, from Bronner Brothers show. Man, he walked me up to Daryl. He said, "This is Daryl Bronner. He's the one that's over the show." He was the show coordinator. He was so cool, so nice, man. Hey, brother, how you doing, man? Blah blah blah. You know, hey, glad to come to the show. And he was talking, but I didn't hear him.
He was like, he doing this,
Wah, 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 wah,
and I'm
wah.
doing this.
I was looking at this brother. When I tell you, immaculate. Listen, he even had lions on his buttons. It was lions on the buttons, bro. I was like, wow. And then the last thing I saw was them gators. I said, I got to get some of them gators. This brother was sharp, man. But after that, I looked at Bernard. I was like, I said, Bernard, why you didn't tell me what the dress code was? I'm a Marine. I'm used to being the sharpest guy in the room.
Right, now you done stepped in here, boy. Look at him. They came with Sunday's best. They came with Thanksgiving. They came with communion.
Yeah, communion. I was like, what the? Oh my God! And it just blew me away. And I was saying, man, he's the president, founder of the company. He's a black man, president, founder of the company, and it opened up a whole nother world for me. I still remember that ride back on 75, back to Jacksonville. I was just leaning out the window, like looking at the stars, like at the clouds, like, what did I just see?
I mean, it is when you're young and you see stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, it was,
because it goes against everything that you originally thought.
Right.
Like, if it's a large gathering, there's gonna be trouble.
Yeah.
I've never been to a room where I seen a bunch of black greats and there wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
So now you've seen this. And it done opened your eyes to a whole new world.
And when I'm saying, and we're talking about, it wasn't even a room, we're talking about a convention center.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is convention center. And like, and the women. Oh man, listen.
Well, the women are trying to outdress the men.
It was so many beautiful.
So they come in sharper than machetes too.
I mean, so many beautiful sisters there. I was like, man, this is a cool industry. And like everybody, it's commerce. People just money being changed and people walking along with their bags and the music was playing. And it's like everybody. And so for me, being a Marine, I love the Marine Corps, but still, we were a minority in the Marine Corps.
Right.
So although everybody was welcoming, I mean, I loved it. The inclusiveness was there. You still felt like, okay, well, you still kind of like a fly
in the room.
Bowl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this was different. And it was just a different feeling. Like, so I want to be careful and want to be adamant about it. It wasn't about, racism or anything like that. Just that it felt for the first time being around all of us. I'm like, oh, so this is what it must feel like to be on the other side.
Me, myself, being from, I'm going to say both sides of the track. I've been the only black kid in the class.
Yeah.
I've been in a class where there was all black kids.
Right. Exactly.
It's two different worlds. But
that's what I'm trying to say.
When you go from being the only black kid in the class to a class where it's just black kids, you got a whole new thought process.
Yes.
You're like, Wakanda's for real?
Yes.
Oh, I never knew we could even be in school together like this.
That's how I felt at Bronner Brothers show. So I came back, sat out my CEO, the colonel, and I said, "Sir, I'm getting out." He's like, "What?" I said, "Sir, if you saw what I saw, I explained the whole thing to him, the whole experience." And he said, "Well, I got to admire you, courage." This was in '98. He said, "I got to admire, your courage, because you're up for promotion." But I said, "Listen, I'm gonna take everything I learned from the Marine Corps and applied, you know what I'm saying, to business. So he wished me well. And, you know, I did the reserves for a little bit because I was in 12 years. So I had to do 8 more years. But the reserve unit was in Albany. So I went a few times, but it was a long drive.
Right.
I think I had to go every other weekend, I think it was, for drill. So I said, you know what? There was a saying with Napoleon when they invaded somewhere, and when they hit the beach, they burnt the ships.
We ain't coming back.
He said, the only way to go, they go way back to France is that way. So
you was thinking to yourself, you like,
you know what?
We done landed D-Day.
Hey, listen, I said, you know what? The reserves and still gave me a way out in case this didn't work out. I could go re-enlist and go back in. I said, you know what? Let's cut it off and just on the way to go is that way. So that's what I did.
Oh man. So from being a mixologist, what made you sit down and say, you know what? I'm gonna write a book.
Yeah, that's
like left field.
Yeah, left field. Right. And the thing is, if you think about it, it's not so much as I wrote a book, because everybody, when you're around a long time, you're in business. What's the first thing? Well, I'm gonna write my memoirs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you personal story, but I didn't do that. Yeah,
but, I mean, you literally
went from that.
You said, I'm gonna write a book. I think this book gonna be history.
Now
but it's not gonna be the history you want.
Right.
It's gonna be a history I want.
Right.
You can either like it.
Right.
But you can still buy my book.
Right. And I think that's so. It's funny because the whole concept behind the promise and completion, it was still about my industry. It literally that was the seed of it, and it was out of a fight to defend my industry and the legacy of my industry. Those same brothers that I saw, over 20-some years ago, and the history that they represented from an economic and cultural standpoint. So the motivation for the book literally stemmed from me defending our American Black beauty culture.
And see, that is why you got to get the book, because what you're thinking is not what it is. Invest the time, invest the money, go get the book.
Yes, I tell you. And the thing is, for me, people were saying the seed was, well, our culture, beauty culture, is Eurocentric. That if you're not wearing or performing in a certain way that's directly connected to Africa, then it's somewhere it's derivative. Mm-hmm. And me being a Marine and just me understanding pride, it pissed me off, because I'm like, we created these industries and these things ourselves here. We're connected, obviously.
Right. We're all interchangeable. We're all intertwined together.
Right.
But at the same time, it starts here, and it's been going there.
Right, exactly. And
it's not the other way around.
The other way around, exactly. And so that's the thing. And if you look at the current status, we're always the trendsetters. We're the ones that are creating things, and people are imitating what we're doing around the world. And doing that and doing my research and basically defending my industry, that's where I start to go back and say, well, what are this flat blackness that we're talking about now? Why is how did we get to a point that being a Black American is somehow a derivative of other cultures? Why can't we have our own culture, which we do, and we share and interchange and have the same level of respect as everyone else's culture?
Right.
And that's where...
Well, first, one culture got to get a culture, because they don't have a culture. So, that's a whole nother show.
Okay.
But when you do have your culture and it's deeply rooted, as well as the hair care industry is,
yeah,
and then you tying it back to history, that's just amazing, because a lot of people don't realize. Look, I'm not going to be ashamed to say I done had perms, I done had curls. Boy, like Mike Jackson came out, everybody's around here talking about beat it.
Right. And that was the whole thing. I'm like, listen, okay, so why are we making everything politics when it's just style?
Yeah, literally, it's just style.
It's just style.
Think about it like this: when you see a movie star, or you see a rapper, or you see an actor, however they come out, literally however they dress, is what these people gravitate to.
Yeah.
It's what people gravitate to.
Absolutely.
So if you got people around here doing cartwheels. You got people on, oh, he's doing cartwheels today.
Yes.
Now you got people on TikTok doing cartwheels.
Right. And that's my thing. So what I with my show, we had a seminar a few months ago, and my thing was no hierarchy, just style. That there is no higher, a more authentic hairstyle. Okay, it's all the same, but it's just trends. Okay, and so once I start looking back and going into history, I'm like, man, they're just remixes. Josephine Baker and them was wearing the waves in the 1910s, but then they got popular on the larger white culture maybe a decade later. And so they're thinking that we're copying off, them, but a lot of times, most of the times, we were making it hot. And then they get it, and I'm like, you see it even in today's culture. There was a controversy about
show me a
the
European
Afro.
with some braids.
Yes. Well, the thing is,
and some kinky hair.
and they're doing it now. You know what? I thought about the 70s. Remember Welcome Back, Carter?
Oh yeah.
See, we made the Afro hot. Then all of a sudden, perms.
Yeah, the blowouts for them, perms for us.
So it's like I started going back and I started seeing this pattern of no, it's not Eurocentric, and then
and it goes away and it comes back.
It goes away, it comes back, and most of the time we're the one that's starting the trend, and then it gets picked up, and then for some reason they're thinking, oh, y'all trying to copy off them. No, we already started that. The Conks, what was it? Nat King Cole. Mm-hmm. Who's wearing those waves and that stuff, and then they got hot with the later on the 50s, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you trying to be like them. But the biggest point was that I said, well, as Black Americans, we are actually Creolized people. Okay, and I say that word in a way that we're just mixtures. You got, indigenous, African, European, and because of the one drop rule, hey, if you had one drop of blood and you were still black, you were still in our black culture. So you could literally have a black person that got straight hair.
Oh yeah.
You can still have a black person that got curly hair.
All day. You
can have a black person that, in fact, we laugh about it. The average black person got about 3 or 4 textures on their hair.
Look,
on one head.
I'm gonna tell you, boy. My grandmother was as light as the P on the Word podcast.
Yes.
But if you went over there and told her you white, she'll cut you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you say that, you say, well, so how can only successfully, really curly hair, be authentic when I'm still black, but my hair's straight. So it's not always about I'm trying to be white or you're trying to be another person. It's that literally with Black Americans, we have all these different shades, different textures, but it's the Black American culture. So all of that led to me saying, why are we still trying to connect ourselves to a continent from an ancestral standpoint and trying to turn it into a lineage? And that's been our whole problem. In 1990, I was in the Marines when we went from black to African American. And I remember that. Listen, I was happy. I was good. I remember going to S1, changing my thing from black to African American. Like I was,
man. You better than me because I was the only black guy in the ICAR class. And I went 2 years in a row for certification. The first year, it said, "Are you white, black, or other?"
Right.
The second year, it said, "Are you white, other, or Hispanic?" I said, "Damn, we done fell off the application." Right. I had the guy say, "What am I supposed to click?" Because last year we had black on here. This year we got other.
Right.
And I don't know if I qualify for other yet.
Right. Right. Exactly. So we've had that. That's been our journey. We went from Negro to color to black to Afro American. So we've always tried to figure out who we are. And the whole point was, you don't know your history. You don't know where you are. And that's where all of this came from. I went from writing and being in the hair industry, being a manufacturer of hair products, to writing a civic book about American history, because that's really where it led me.
I tell you what, you spend a lot of time on the dang swings.
Yes. Yeah.
Because boy, look at here.
And so now,
that book is hot.
If you look at, my thing is now, the difference between lineage and ancestry is very key for our kids. And I really wrote the book for the kids. I really want young Black Americans to understand that our ethnogenesis, and that's the word I found in my research, the archaeologists consider a beginning, a new people. That the fact that so many different tribes were put together, involved in the Atlantic slave trade, later sent up to America, the culture, the language, all those things were purposely cut off.
Oh, wow.
And in order to break the continuity of that culture, then we had to form a new people here. And that's literally, when you look around, that's Black American culture. It's a new people. There's an actual academic definition of it called ethnogenesis. And I think that we have to educate our kids on that, and us, and to look at how amazing it was that they went from slaves to freedmen to citizens in the very same country that they were enslaved in. And it's never happened in human history. I looked everywhere. If there was someone that was enslaved, they either left the country completely.
Yep.
Okay. Or they were still there, but still in a sort of caste system. But this is the first time I found that the former oppressors literally constitutionally, at a constitutional foundational level, gave us equal citizenship and equal rights in the actual law. Now, we've spent the last 100+ years fighting it to enforce, but it's in there. And that's the thing that I think we've got to understand. And I said before, we remember the bondage, we remember the freedom, but we forgot the covenant that we had and the ownership that we got in this country. And if we come from renter mentality to owner mentality, then I think our mindset's going to change.
I think we need to honor the past, but live for the present.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you have a lot of past back drama.
Yeah.
And the funny part is for everybody who was a slave, they didn't have the option to not be a slave.
Right.
For everybody who was lynched, they didn't have the option to not get lynched.
Right. Exactly.
But today's times,
yes,
you have a whole bunch of options, but you choosing to live in trauma.
Yes, unfortunately. And that's the thing. I just, obviously, this day and time, outrage sells.
Oh, yeah.
Anger sells. And
it definitely does, because boy, they will sell it all day.
It sells. And I think when you feel unmoored, and I think that's the thing, because I have empathy for them, because I was there. Yeah, I was there. I'm just, just angry, where am I from? And, I'm going back to Africa now. I'm going over there and I'm going to find my lineage and all that stuff. And I just had to understand, but I always felt empty, because there was some, not all, that would say, you don't know where you're from, or you're not a real African.
What's funny part is?
Slave blood in you, so you're kind of in the middle, you're in purgatory.
You just an American.
Yeah, you are.
You're literally just an American. If
from a
you
citizenship standpoint.
was not born in Africa,
right,
your ass is not African. Pardon my French.
Right.
Your ass is not. You's American.
Yeah. And like
you can't be nothing else.
Right.
Now your parents, your great parents, grandparents, they may be African.
And I tell folks, because again, with all the outrage, I'm just trying to find what can we say to each other that will calm the temperature in the room, that will be academically sound.
Yep.
And archaeologically correct. And so that's why I say words are important. They're very, very important. We have ancestral ties to Africa. There's no doubt about it. That's okay. So does everyone else. And we've got to separate ancestral from lineage.
Yeah, that's two different things.
And that's the thing. We've got to accept the fact that everybody on this planet has a lineage, and it starts with your mother and father, their maternal and paternal grandparents, and on back. So as far back as you can trace your lineage, direct lineage, then that's as far as you can say, this is where I'm from. Once you get to that point where you can no longer trace your direct lineage, then that's okay. Now it switches over into ancestral. So from the ancestral part, that could be some of everyone. There's I think we're missing that word. We're missing that step. And I think
middle,
people trying to make lineage.
Part.
Yeah, people trying to make lineage ancestral.
And it's not the same.
It's not the same.
No.
And so once people kind of do that, maybe they can just kind of like,
Because think about it like this: if that was the case, if you went over to Puerto Rico or you went over to, let's say, Japan, you had your kid in Japan. Are they still American?
Right? Because of you, they are, but in Japan. So you got to trace the lineage. You're right. So you say, well, you're born in Japan, but where are your parents from? And if you can trace your lineage back to America, then that's okay. That's a great point.
But you look at it like this. So let's say you're born in Japan, you get married. Do you trace your lineage back to Japan? Because that's what a birth certificate gonna say.
Right. That's
so
your point.
Now you're like, am I American or am I from Japan?
Well, I tell you what, one good thing about that is that as far as the American law goes, if the two parents are American,
that baby gonna be
then you're American. You know what I'm saying? So I was in Okinawa, Japan. I didn't have my child over there, but I was in Okinawa, Japan, and I know a lot of people that did. And they as long as that's the parents, then you
because they had them on base.
They had them on base. Yeah,
they knew better. It's like you better not go on base and have a kid.
Well, the thing is, the Japanese weren't gonna let you be a citizen in Japan either because you're not Japanese. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, you had that kid here, but
you still ain't one of us.
American. And so that's the thing. So I think that we've got to be able to be okay with that. So the main thing I look at, ethnogenesis. It's an actual archaeological term that says a new people formed through a shared historical event or experiences. That's what happened with us with slavery. That's why you had 14, 15 different tribes come together. They were the continuity and the lineage was purposely cut off. They purposely mixed them in together. So you were no longer. That's why you can't go back and find a tribe that you were from because you got so many different parts in you now. You can't possibly be from one initial tribe because you've had 14, 15 tribes put together to make you now.
Right. And that's drastic all across the board.
Right, exactly. And so it's okay though. I think that we just got to just embrace our American heritage, our American lineage, and as far back as we can go and be okay with that. And understand that the biggest thing that got me was that Frederick Douglass and Delaney, when we got the 13th Amendment was passed, them folk wanted to send us back to Africa.
Well, yeah, because now we're wanting what they want.
They were like, listen, they had the American something society. They were abolitionist organization that started in like 1830, and their whole thing was, how do we free the slaves? But then how do we get them back to Africa? They want to get us up out of here. But Frederick Douglass never said, no, we've been here for over almost 200 years now at this point. My mama, my grandparents, my parents were born on this soil. And so this is our country. We don't want to go back to Africa. In fact, Delaney, one of the brothers I have in the book, he went to Africa and did some exploring and was going to repatriate some people back there. But 1860, the South Carolina seceded and he got word that they did. He's like, nah, you know what? we could go over here, but America's where we got to make our fight. So they made the decision to stay here. And so now 150 years later, for us to say, well, no, America's not our home. We got to go back to Africa. The people, our ancestors who had the most direct option
was here,
and they said, no, we gonna stay here. And it turned out everyone still wants to come to America. I mean,
well, yeah, because you got to realize, growing up, you learned that America was the land of hopes and dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what they sell you. Mm-hmm. And that's what you choose to purchase. That's what you choose to cultivate and grow. Because it's always up to you what you do.
Yeah.
And how much effort you put in the way you're going.
Yes, absolutely.
So, I understand why people want to come here.
Well, the thing is, I tell people all the time, one of the things about researching, we say, don't compare me to the Almighty. Compare me to the alternative. I
love that. And with that, I'm going to say, tell these people where they can find that book.
You can find The Promise of Completion on Amazon. It's doing very well. I appreciate the support we've been getting so far. It's for you. It's for your kids. I would want to ground our young black kids and their place here. At the same time, for young white kids to understand that America did the right thing, and the promise was 1776, but the completion was 1868, July 9th. It's actually within the same week, which is kind of cool. You got the 4th and the 9th, same calendar week. The promise of the 14th Amendment basically made the 1776, it made it legible for us. And so it doesn't look like it's all disjointed. So I appreciate the support.
Man, I love that. And with that being said, man, Alan, look, I'm definitely going to have you back on the playground.
Awesome, man.
And next time we'll be able to play in the sandbox because, like I said, we can't be the 2 coolest kids on the playground right now. Talk about getting dirty. Because you know we got church afterwards.
Yes, we do. That's absolutely right. I appreciate you having me, man. And I look forward to coming back again, brother.
Thank you for coming to the playground.
Appreciate you, brother.
And with that being said, y'all know what time it is. Unfortunately, I can't swing on the swings. I can't play on the sliding board. So I'm just going to leave the park, and I'm going to holler at y'all later. We out.